The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And welcome into a Tuesday episode, a glorious Tuesday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the top right-hand corner so you know where to go if you are in the market for a new or used vehicle. Boop, right there, Greenwood Chevrolet. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. Man, we are ready for a great summer months as we narrow down the final rounds of the spring season. West Branch gearing up towards yet another team for YSN in the state tournament. We will preview them later on in the week. We also have a very special state send-off show that we just announced yesterday on our social media accounts. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Don't miss it. We'll have Coach Molinix on, as well as a handful of players to talk about West Branch's season and what they've gone through and how they've gotten to this point. Wednesday, 8 o'clock, presented by Athletics. Myself, Ty Bartell, West Branch Baseball State Send-Off Show. Don't miss it on any YSN social media channel or on the website. Any way you watch Running Point, you can watch the West Branch Send-Off Show Wednesday at 8. We will also want to congratulate Mohawk on an incredible season. It fell to an end last night, 7-1 to Harbor Creek in the first round of the Pennsylvania State Tournament. So we want to congratulate Mohawk on a great season, winning the WPIL and making it that far. I know that was a season that had a lot of ups and downs, dealt through a couple of injuries, got healthy at the right time, struck gold at the right time, had a great run in the WPIL, and just could not quite get through the first round of the state playoffs for Pennsylvania. So now we can officially say that it's sad for me to say, but the high school softball season for YSN is done as far as high school games are concerned. We will have our All-Star game. Don't forget about that. We'll have more information about that coming out very, very soon. But as far as high school games concerned, the season at YSN for softball has closed its book. Hopefully we have 2 more baseball games before we do that for baseball. West Branch in the state semifinals on Friday, 1 o'clock at Canal Park. So that'll be fun. Today we're going to dive into Class B. I told you this is what we were going to be doing this summer yesterday. Class B had 5 18U games go on yesterday. We're going to bring up their website here, their game schedule, and see what the results were. Our continued coverage of Class B baseball at Bob Scene Park. We are loving our partnership with Scene Park, and we love our coverage of Class B baseball. Last night, like I said, it was 18U night. We had 5 games get in, and the first game on record is the Athletics getting the win over Eagleware, 12-4 the final score there. Let's hop into the box score and see what went down. So the scoring breakdown looks like this. Athletics with 1 run in the first, 1 in the second, but then that big third inning, 5 runs in the third, 3 runs in the fourth, 1 run in the fifth, 1 run in the sixth. It was a consistently tacking on runs for Athletics. They did not play the 7th inning because of time limit. So let's break down the Athletics batters and who had big nights on the big offensive day. A lot of people with 2 RBIs. Top of the order, CJ Frasco. He was 1 for 2 with 2 walks, 2 runs scored, 2 RBI. You had 2 RBI from Anthony Treveri, who went 1 for 2 with 2 RBI, 2 walks, and a run scored. Multiple hits on the day for Paul Gubbs, who went 2 for 4 with 2 RBI and a run scored. Some other big bats for Athletics. You had Jake Shoemate with a 1 for 3 day and an RBI. 1 RBI apiece from Adam Canetti and Evan Tice. Tice with a multiple hit day, 2 for 4 with an RBI. So a big day at the plate for Athletics. And their pitching staff was pretty good. Connor Brogan, someone that we know pretty well, 5 innings, gave up 4 runs on 5 hits, struck out 8, walked 3. Adam Coneth, came in relief, pitched 2/3 of an inning, didn't give up anything, struck out 1, walked 2. We go over to the Eagleware box score as we see RBIs gotten from Luke Julian and Adam Waite. Waite went 1 for 1 with 2 walks and an RBI. 2 RBIs from Kyler Bourne, who went 1 for 3 with those 2 RBIs on the day for Eagleware. And their pitching, Liam Bartlett, took the loss. Went 3 innings, gave up 5 runs on 5 hits. Did manage to strike out 5, though. 9 total strikeouts for Eagleware pitching. Usually that strikeout number works in your favor, but Athletics worked through the strikeouts and got a lot of production in the 12-4 win. We go to Ballistic Baseball. They got the win over Nightline. They lost to Nightline. I'm sorry, I saw that backwards. 8-6 the final score. Nightline gets the win. A lot of offense in this one. Last night, the offenses really had center stage in all these games. So we look at the box score for this one. Nightline with a run in the first, 3 in the second. They were up 4-0. Ballistic started to fight back in the top of the third. They scored 2. Nightline answered with 2. Nightline with 2 in the fourth. And then Ballistic scored 2 in the top of the fifth. And that's how this ended. 2 more in the top of the seventh. Could not quite secure the comeback in the 8-6 win. For Nightline, their batters, 2 RBI day from Caden Maffett, who went 2 for 4 with a run scored and those 2 RBIs. They also got 2 RBIs from Mike Skevnicki, who went 1 for 1, a perfect day at the plate with the 2 base knocks. The 2 ribbies. Andrew Brown, who we know pretty well, went 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored, and then an RBI from Matt Pallarino, who went 1 for 3 with the run scored as well. RBI from Nolan Dar, 1 for 2 with that run scored and the walk as well. And those are your 7 RBIs from the Nightline hitters, their pitching staff. Tyler Hawk went 5 innings, gave up just a 1 earned run on 9 hits, struck out 3, 4 total strikeouts for Nightline pitching. When we go to the Ballistic lineup, it looked like this. They had 2 RBIs back-to-back in the lineup from Tyler Wright and Hunter Wilson. They both went 1 for 2. Wilson scored a run. They also both drew a walk. And then RBIs, 1 apiece from both Elijah Muckle and Nick Kuipernow. They both went 2 for 4 with an RBI. I apologize if I'm butchering some names that I'm not as familiar with. 2 for 3 day for Sam Patton. He had a walk and a run scored as well. And then a multiple hit day from Danny Pedersen, who went 2 for 4 with 3 runs scored. Ballistic used 3 pitchers. The loss was credited to Owen McKenzie, who went 2 innings, gave up just a 1 earned run, 4 hits, and no strikeouts. 4 total strikeouts for Ballistic pitching, just like Nightline. They get the win 8-6 in a pretty dang close one. Prospects and Astro Falcons was the second game on Scene 1. This was one that also ended because of time limit. As we go into the box score here, Astro Falcons scoreless after 2, scoreless after 3, 1-0 after 4. Prospects pitching well, and then it's 3-2 after 5. But things go wrong in the 6th for the Prospects, as they have a long 6-run 6th inning that eclipses the time limit of the game, and it's 9-2 the final score for the Falcons. The hitting for Astro Falcons, they had a big day from Ben Kern, who went 2 for 3 with 2 RBI and 2 runs scored. Then they had RBI spread out throughout the rest of the lineup. Andres Huckmans went 0 for 2, but he also had the RBI and a walk and a run scored. RBI from Brady Alexander, who also scored a run. RBI on a 2 for 3 day for Creed Erdos, who went 2 for 3 with the run scored. RBI from AJ Verdi, who went 1 for 2 with a walk. And then an RBI as well from Leon McElroy, who went 1 for 3 with the run scored. Pitching for the Astro Falcons was Will Petty. He went 4 1/3, gave up 2 earned runs on 6 hits, struck out 5. Rocco Galmani had 1 2/3 innings, didn't give up any runs, no hits, and did strike out 3. So 8 total strikeouts for the Astro Falcon pitchers. For the Prospects, their 2 runs came from RBIs from Avery Malley, who went 0 for 1 but got the RBI and a walk, and then a 2 for 2 day from Owen Boone. He got the RBI and a walk as well. Boone pitched the 6 innings, 5 innings, I should say, gave up the 6 earned runs, 7 hits, struck out 6, walked 2. And then they brought in Brandon Cash and Landon Bunstedler for some work in that final inning as well. So the Falcons get the win 9-2 over the Prospects in a game that started off really, really close. The big 6-run 6th inning, the difference for the Astro Falcons. We go on to the new Class B team, the 3B Barons, who got the win over the Avalanche, 9-0, the shutout victory, the best pitching staff on the night for the Barons. We look at this box score. 2 in the first, 1 in the third, 3 in the fifth, and then 3 in the 7th. 9 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Barons. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Avalanche. The Barons offense lit up the box score. As you can see, a lot of RBIs from a lot of different people. Ben Miller got an RBI. Nick Parado got an RBI. He had an RBI from Luke Anderton. 2 for 5 day for Brady McGuire. He had an RBI from Dominic Bumbless, who went 1 for 1 with the run scored. RBI from Kalen Durbin, RBI from Chase Barron, RBI from Hunter Triano. I mean, this hits everywhere, RBIs everywhere, a lineup that really peppered the scoring. And then the shutout from the pitching staff, Zyler Friedman got the win. He went 5 innings, gave up no runs, 1 hit, struck out 6. He was relieved by Corbin Savsik and Jimmy Rowe, who both went an inning. Neither one gave up a run. They only gave up 1 hit combined. As a team, the Barons struck out 7. So a big win for the new kids on the block in the 3B Barons. Last but not least, on the schedule for the 18Us last night, we had Dura Edge winning a slugfest over Creekside, 10-9, the final score here. Let's take a look at the way this game went. Dura Edge was down 2-1, was down 4-1, but then a big 6-run 3rd inning put them ahead. They scored 3 more in the 5th to really be able to hold off the rally from Creekside with 4 combined runs in the last 2 innings. 9 runs, 14 hits, 2 errors for Creekside. 10 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for Dura Edge. The Edge hitters, 1 for 3 day for Ronnie Trimble, but he made 3 RBIs out of it. 3 RBIs as well from a 3 for 4 day from Alex Eusebio. He had a 2 for 2 day from Jacob Rind, who went with an RBI, a walk, and 2 runs scored. He had 2 RBIs from Blake Jeffries, who went 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored as well. Also peppered in RBIs from Alex Zordich and an RBI as well from – no, I called them all out. I got them all. And then in the pitching, Dura Edge went to Trimble Jr., who went 3 innings, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits. The win went to Camden Martin, who went 4 innings, 5 earned runs, 9 hits, struck out a pair. Creekside batting gave it their all. They almost came back. 3 RBI from Eli Mandler, who went 3 for 3, a perfect day at the plate for him. He had a pair of RBIs from Carter Owens and Tyler McEulin, who went 2 for 4 and 2 for 2, respectively, on the day. Then you peppered a couple of RBIs around the rest of the lineup. Don Ryan had a 1-for-1 day with an RBI. And then Emmett Filsky also had an RBI with a walk. So that's a 10-9 victory for Dura Edge to round out the night in 18U action. Let's go take a look at the 18U standings after the results coming in on Monday and see where we stand very early in the season. But right now, the Barons have the lead in the 18U standings. They are 6-0. You have the Astro Falcons and Creekside right on their tail. Astro Falcons 4-1, Creekside 4-2, Athletics 4-2. You have the Avalanche at 4-3, Ballistic at 3-4, Nightline at 3-4, Dura Edge at 2-3, and then rounding out the standings, Eagleware and Prospects both looking for their first win. So those are the standings in 18U. Let's look at 16U real quick and what we have in store for ourselves at Scene Park tonight in Class B baseball. Here is the game schedule for tonight. Got 5 games on tap through Scene 1 through 3. On Scene 1 at 5:30, you're going to have the A to Z Athletics taking on Ballistic. And also at 5:30 on Scene 3, you have Nightline and Creekside. At 8 o'clock on Scene 1, you have Avalanche and Prospects. Scene 2 at 8 o'clock, you're going to have Athletics versus Eagleware. And then on Scene 3 at 8 o'clock, you're going to have the 3B Barons against the Astro Falcons. Now that we know who's playing each other, let's take a quick look at the 16U standings and see what's at stake tonight. So as you can see, the Astro Falcons in the lead with a 6-1 record. Right on their tail, though, are the Avalanche 6-2, Prospects 5-3, Barons 5-3, Nightline 5-3. And then the Athletics are 3-4. So is Creekside. Ballistic 3-5. A to Z is 1-5, and then the Eagleware team rounds out the standings with an 0-7 record, looking for their first win. So that's what 16U looks like. We'll give you one more look at the game schedule after the standings. There you go. A to Z, Ballistic, Creekside, Nightline, Prospects, Avalanche, Eagleware, Athletics, and Barons against Astro Falcons tonight in 16U. Class B baseball, Scene Park. Check it out. 5:30 and 8 o'clock. We will have games on the network as well. ysnlive.com/live is where you can find the Class B action. That'll be all summer long on YSN. Don't miss a minute of the baseball from Bob Scene Park. We're going to take a break after this recap. When we come back, we're going to have a player profile featured today from Canfield, the state champion softball team. Sammy Economist will be featured on today's show. That's coming up next on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
the solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig with you. We're gonna roll right into a player profile. We're gonna go back into Canfield, finish out their player profiles that need to be featured on this show. The state champion Cardinals, Sammy Economist, our third baseman, gonna be featured here on today's show. I hope you enjoy this interview. It's a great one indeed. Anthony Hartwig here with a Canfield softball player profile. I am joined by sophomore Sammy Economist. Sammy, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
So this Canfield team has a lot of players that were there last year, made a big impact, but they're also players like you who are stepping into much bigger roles and having kind of your first taste of consistent varsity action. So from your perspective, what's this year been like being your first taste of all the action?
It's been so much fun. Definitely big shoes that I had to fill from last year, but you know, it's been a great experience. I've had so much fun getting closer with all the girls and just playing softball.
When you think of the players that you got to learn from last year as a freshman and the things that you were able to soak in, what kind of things did last year's seniors, you know, the holes that you had to fill this year, what kind of things did they teach you about what to expect this year at the varsity level?
They definitely taught me a lot about hard work and dedication. You know, last year they were always there. They were always teaching us. And I feel like I learned a lot from them.
Okay, now that they're graduated, who's someone this year that you think has specifically taken you under their wing and kind of guided you through everything that you have to go through during a whole varsity season?
Macy Kalina, she's always been there for me. And I mean, I've learned so much from her this year, all year, from basketball into softball season. And it's just been a lot of fun.
Did you get any like major forms of advice from her or someone else on the team that really stuck with you throughout the year?
She's always taught me to just kind of push through everything and always do my best. But honestly, all the girls have done that.
Not only have you stepped into this big role, but you're in the third base. You're in the hot corner. I mean, balls get hit to you in a hurry. What's that been like? You know, first year on the team, and here you come as a third baseman playing the hot corner.
I've played third base my whole life, so I'm kind of always used to it, I guess you could say. So it's kind of been just like how it normally has. But the only difference is I'm playing behind Milena, which she's such an amazing pitcher. So a lot of action doesn't come, but when it does, I'm always ready.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. What's it like trying to stay engaged and locked in on defense when you have Milena Toth, who is striking out, 16, 17 batters per game, and there's a lot of, lulls where you're not seeing a ball for a long time?
Honestly, I just love watching her pitch. So just being able to watch her and see all the different pitches she throws just makes it so much fun and keeps me engaged throughout every inning.
One of the things that comes with all the success this team has had is a lot of attention. This is probably not the last interview that you'll have this week leading up to state, and you guys have been, followed in practice. I've seen media at practice. What's it like to deal with all the hoopla leading up to state on Friday?
Honestly, you kind of just have to block it out at sometimes because in the end of the day, like, we're just here playing softball and we're trying to win a state championship. So it's a lot of fun getting all the recognition and just kind of everyone watching us. But we're just here to play a game, so.
Since this is our first time catching up with you, why don't you tell us about your softball journey, when you started the sport and when you started to fall in love with it and realize it was something that not only did you just play for fun, but it was something that you wanted to take seriously and put a lot of time into?
I've played softball for 10, 12 years now, so I've been playing it for a while. But honestly, I started loving it when I was really young, and it's always been like my number one sport. So I've always kind of fallen back to it, even if I've tried other things.
Do you know what it was about it that made you fall in love with it? Was there a certain aspect of the game that you caught on to early?
Honestly, I've loved every aspect of it. There's not just one that has stood out more than others. So I think just as a whole, it's really been my favorite.
Now, there's a lot of feelings in softball. There's, the big hit, the big defensive play. What's your favorite feeling of the sport gives you?
I love just being able to be there and make big plays, but also it's the best feeling when you get that big hit, you're helping out your team, and everyone's just kind of cheering for you. So
this schedule that you guys have has exposed you to a lot of high-level pitchers. Now, I don't know what kind of pitchers you see in the off-season and travel and such in the summer, but what's it been like this year on this level, seeing all the great pitchers that are in front of you and preparing you for this round in the state?
This year, definitely, I've seen a lot more pitchers that have thrown different, like going from super fast, having a lot of movement. So it's been an adjustment, but it's been really fun being able to try and adjust and talking to all my teammates and seeing like what we see when we go up to the plate and everyone just kind of helping each other out.
I mean, you get one of the best pitchers in the state during practice to throw you live BP. How much does that help you, being able to, hey, Melina, why don't you come, throw us 65 and see if we can catch up to you, then we can catch up to anybody.
It definitely helps seeing like a faster pitcher and, honestly, even her input, talking about like from her pitches that she throws at practice, like just explaining it to us and trying to help us out, that helps a lot too.
All right, so this break that you guys have between regionals and state and even between districts and regionals is a lot longer than you have during the regular season when you're playing 4 or 5 games a week and you really don't have time to breathe. What's it like being able to get back into practice a couple of days in a row, tighten some things and really work on some things and have this kind of break between the last game and the next game?
I feel like it has helped us, even though it may not seem like it. A big break has helped us because we've been able to really like digest everything that's happening and even like relax a little bit and just kind of play our game and be able to prepare for it.
That being said, as the Friday gets closer, does the anticipation start building and building and building inside, like you wish Friday was here now?
Yeah, I definitely wish it had come sooner. I'm very excited for it. So,
What's going to be your mindset going into this game? We talked about how it's your first year with a big varsity level, a lot of varsity experience. So it's your first time playing on this field and being in this game. What's your mindset?
I'm just there to help my team out any way I can, from making any play that comes my way to getting a big hit or even just a little base hit. Just there to help them out.
I want to bring up Coach Kernan, who's one of the more highly respected coaches in the area. So good at developing talent and growing people in the game. What have you been able to learn and grow in this year, especially this year, I should say, under Coach Kernan?
Coach Kernan has helped me out a lot this year, I would say. We've definitely built a bond. Just like he's kind of helped out with like little tweaks here and there and technique. And definitely he's motivated me a lot this year to really push myself and be the best I can.
What part of your game do you think you would give him the credit for having the most growth in, as far as this year?
I say probably my swing. He's helped me out a little bit here and there, just kind of tweaking it, making it better, and really helping me adjust, especially to like different pitches and everything. So he's really helped me out with that.
Maybe people don't know this if all they do is watch the games or if they're coaching against him and they don't only see his competitive side, but Coach Kernan can get kind of goofy. We've seen him last year's state game, putting the visor on backwards, trying to get the rally cap going. He gets involved with the antics that you guys like to do. He's photo bombing interviewers when they're being interviewed by media. What's it like to have a coach that kind of feeds into the looseness and the fun of softball?
I love it personally. I mean, from his jokes to honestly just being overall just like a funny person, it really helps me like be more relaxed, definitely. And I think the whole team can agree with that. It just keeps everything a lot more relaxed and we're all happier.
How would you describe his sense of humor? You saying he's bringing out the jokes. What kind of sense of humor does he have?
Oh wow. He has, I think they're good jokes, but they're definitely like dad joke type style, and it just makes it so funny. I love it. We start out practice that way a lot of the time, so it really just keeps a good vibe going throughout the entire day.
Okay, one thing we know about Canfield softball is the snacks are abundant. You have a whole area of the dugout completely dedicated to snacks. What's your favorite in the snack bag? What are you going to?
Every single day, I'll get a goldfish before practice. It's always my go-to, and I love it. But Gretchen always keeps the best snacks in there, so.
Yeah, with so many choices, if we asked every softball player this too, if you had to choose one and that was the only thing you could have for the rest of your softball career, would it be those goldfish or would you go somewhere else?
Wow, I really don't know. I mean, yeah, I'd probably agree. It would be the goldfish. I don't know. I just really love them.
Are we talking OG goldfish or is there a specific new flavor that you like?
The OG goldfish are probably one of my favorites, but also the extra cheddar. I just love them both.
There you go. I want to talk also about walk-up songs. Canfield gets them, so you guys get one too. What's your walk-up song, and what does it say about you?
This year, I actually couldn't decide on my walk-up song for the longest time. So my friend Sid, she really helped me out. She picked out the song 23. So that's kind of been my walk-up song, and I've just stuck with it because it kind of is like superstitious at this point, and I kind of just have to keep it for the rest of the season. And I honestly love it.
What do you think it says? Like, does it match your personality, you think?
Yeah, I kind of think it does. It's kind of loud and out there in a way. So yeah, it definitely matches my personality and it's just kind of fun.
Now let's talk about your personal playlist too, like pre-game playlist, songs you listen to really hype you up and get you in the right mental mindset.
Wow. It really depends. A lot of the times, like going to games, I have like one specific playlist I'll listen to a lot of the time, and it has like Drake, Kanye, and it's like my go-to most of the time, but sometimes I'll throw on some country, so it really depends.
Yeah, does your hype up playlist differ than like everyday playlist? Like, do you have songs that are dedicated just for pregame that you probably wouldn't listen to outside of that, or is it like you like that music all the time?
I like that music all the time, honestly, so it's not really that different.
All right, we're gonna hit you with some more rapid fire questions, get to know you a little bit off the field. My first one is sunrise or sunset, morning or evening? Which one are you more of?
Definitely sunset or evening.
When you think of your favorite restaurant to go out and eat to, what do you got?
Ooh, that's a hard one. It honestly depends on my mood, but I love Nicolini's and I love Stonebridge.
All right, so when we're talking about Stonebridge and Nicolini's, both places where you can go get pretty good Italian food, what's your go-to order?
Pasta Giada is my go-to order at Nicolini's.
All right, so let's talk about, if you had to have one dessert for the rest of your life. We talked about dugout snacks, but now we're talking that sweet tooth, that dessert. What are you getting?
Cheesecake, 100%.
What about dream car? Do you have a dream car? Like if money wasn't an issue and you could go and buy anything you wanted, do you have a car that you would go to?
It changes every day in my head. So right now it's probably a Bronco, but I don't know.
So if we asked you tomorrow, it might be completely different.
Yeah.
Do you have a color? Do you have like a favorite car color that you would go to with that Bronco?
Probably like a dark gray.
Awesome. Okay. Favorite vacation spot that you've been to?
Ocean Isle in North Carolina.
What about a vacation dream spot that you haven't been to yet that you'd like to go to?
Hawaii.
Ooh, that's good. Tropical. I'm sensing a lot of tropical vibes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about books or movies. You like books or movies better?
Movies.
Do you have like a favorite movie or a favorite genre maybe if you can't narrow it down to one movie?
I love the movie Anyone But You, but I also love comedies, so.
Do you have like a binge movie or a movie that you've seen 100 times that you always can just turn on in the background?
Not really. No.
What was the last TV show that you streamed on Netflix?
I don't know.
It's been a while, right? Softball season keeps you busy. It's understandable. What teammate do you think you text the most?
It's between Sofia Castronova, Brooke Luchinsky, and Kaylee Ortiz.
All right, I want to talk about, your family. Talk about what makes them so unique and special to you, and how much they support you, and what you think is so special about them.
My family definitely supports me so much with everything I do. We're very like sports like into it kind of family. So it's definitely very fun playing, and they support me all the time. I love seeing them at every single one of my games, and they're always just people I could look up to.
With a very sports-centered family, like how competitive do you guys get with each other? Even if it's like small things, family game night or backyard sports, how competitive does it get in your household?
Oh, so competitive. Every single one of us are very competitive. None of us like losing, so it definitely is very intense.
What do you guys get the most competitive about? Like what's the one thing that will always fire those competitive juices in your bodies?
Honestly, it's anything. It could just be like, I'm trying to think. There was something yesterday where we were all very competitive over. I can't really remember, but it could be anything, such as like ping pong or like being the first to name something. Just honestly anything.
You brought up ping pong, and I hear that Canfield has a pretty good pickleball group. People like to play pickleball on your team. Are you one of those players? Do you like to go to the pickleball court and play with your teammates?
I've played a few times. I'm really excited for summer to play more, but yeah, it's very fun. Everyone's so into it.
If Canfield had a varsity pickleball team and it wasn't in the spring, you think you'd go out for it? You think you'd try your luck at pickleball?
100%. Yeah.
All right.
I think honestly most of the girls would.
Yeah, I think so too. The interviews we've had, they've all said yes to that question. Before we let you go, we talked about your family, but if you have anyone else you want to shout out, anyone else that you want to thank for supporting you throughout your career, I want to give you the chance to do so now.
All of my coaches all the way up, but specifically Coach Kernan, Coach Barb, Coach Durkin, Coach Red, and Coach CJ. They definitely have helped me a lot this year, and I want to thank them.
All right, Sammy, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it. Want to wish you the best of luck in the state tournament. We hope that you win the big trophy this year, and we can't wait to talk to you real soon.
Thank you.
That was Sammy Economist from Canfield, who did play in a state championship, did win the big trophy, and that was recorded before they went on to be state champions. But I believe I could kind of backlog and be wrong, and if I am, we'll play it. But I believe that's the last Canfield softball player profile to be featured on Running Point. They had an amazing season, and I was so honored to be able to cover so many of their athletes and be able to feature so many of their stories. That's what these player profiles are for. They're for sharing the stories of these athletes as they go on to compete at the highest level. So I was able to talk to so many Canfield softball players. They're all great, and congratulations again. I mean, we overpoured the love and the support yesterday on the show about winning a state championship. But again, it's awesome. And congratulations to Canfield and to Fitch. We still have one more player profile from Fitch that we have to get to. It was one that Ty Bartell got last week, Kayleana Ray, which will be featured here soon. So don't miss that. We're not done with Canfield softball. We're not done with Fitch softball, I should say, when it comes to player profiles being featured on the show. Tomorrow's going to be Running Wednesday, though. Tomorrow, season finale, Running Wednesday. Rick Seipert. We're going to recap the whole state tournament. We do have a special guest. We're trying to get interviews with a lot of the people that went down, the track athletes that went down and either won at state or had very good results. We just couldn't nail everyone down for a recording of Running Wednesday. So want to preface this. Anyone watching Running Wednesday tomorrow, don't panic if your athlete that you love so much that won a state or did very well at state is not featured on tomorrow's episode, because we are working very hard to make sure they get interviewed, they get content up on the site. It's just trying to schedule everyone on one day for an hour seemed to be really hard. So we're gonna get JFK. We've already locked them. We're trying to get them locked down. United 4x1. We need to get them, of course. They won state. Louisville, need to get them. So we're gonna be working on making sure we get content from these great athletes that went down and did so well at state for track. It just might not be on the episode 8 of Running Wednesday just because the scheduling was kind of tough. So we will have a special guest, though. We have one locked in. So we will have a special guest for Running Wednesday tomorrow. And we're going to have some fun talking about all the great stuff that happened in Dayton. That'll be tomorrow. Scotty will be with us, too. Going to be a fun day. Tomorrow from 1 to 2. Check it out on Running Point. Brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.